Hey everybody, this is Everything Under the Sun. It's me and Kevin. Kevin, we had Logan and Tanner on the podcast today.
Great.
It was fantastic.
Great casting.
Great casting. We talked about, goodness gracious.
So many things.
There's
a lot of Full House chat.
There's a huge section of just Full House.
If you're a Full House aficionado. A house head.
A house head, that's what they're called, yeah. That was Logan's fault too, because she brought up whether we thought Mary-Kate and Ashley was more
Olsen family dynamics, which I don't think we ever answered.
We didn't. But she asked if Mary-Kate and Ashley was more successful than, what's her name?
Elizabeth Olsen, which is their sister, which you found out when we filmed
this. I didn't even know they were related. So if you want to see me figure out who Elizabeth Olsen is. And he was talking about Full House and like the early internet and what color
all
the picture house.
We were all over the place.
We were all over the place.
Everyone will be satisfied.
Yes.
In some way.
Yeah. So
some people will be angered.
Yeah. So keep watching because this is Everything Under the Sun.
You know how reality show hosts talk? Who taught them to talk that way?
Yeah. Chris Harrison.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Melissa thinks that Becky is gonna tell her that she can't come to her party.
Welcome to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I'm Guy Fieri.
Oh my goodness!
Somebody's coaching him to talk like that. That's not how a human being talks.
Yeah, right. You're right.
But now that's how everybody talks.
I've never thought about that.
Listen to someone doing like one of those talking head things on a reality show. We were gonna use the wainscoting, but now we're gonna use wallpaper. No one talks like that.
You're right.
I have noticed that a lot on home reno shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's the same way with like newscasters. Why do newscasters talk like that?
Yeah, but I can see that makes more sense because you want to present information in a certain way for people to understand it. You're just talking about how you renovated this room. Just talk to me. Don't be like,
I don't feel like. Why are they jazz musicians now?
They might as well be because that's how I hear the information that they're saying.
Oh my gosh.
I hear it.
I'd rather watch it on mute.
I hear it more like in the announcers than I do like in like the actual like talking head things.
Yeah.
Whenever they do like a little interview.
Too. Let's pull something up. What's the people that do the Galveston?
There's a Galveston reality TV show.
There's a Galveston like it's supposed to be like I guess they're like the Chip and Joanna Gaines of Galveston instead of Waco.
Wow.
Yeah, they buy old like colonial houses in Galveston and like fix them up to their former glory.
I did not know this.
But there's a show, yeah. But even them, they're like.
Have you heard of Studio McGee?
Why do I feel like I know what that is?
They're basically like the next Chip and Joanna on Netflix. Extreme Home Makeover, I think it's called. Dream Home Makeover.
Dream Home Makeover.
Yeah, and they basically they do the same thing. Yeah. Chip and Joanna do it, but they've had their brand and like their products and stuff for a long time. But she explains things like a very similar way that Joanna did, and it's just like, I love the show, I love all of her work, but. It's like watching the same
People
thing.
think they're doing like a presentation, like a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And you'll see if you look at slide 3. when you're talking about something you did in the real world. Yeah. Hey, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I had sheetrocked and we taped and floated and then we painted it. Looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
What does tape and float mean?
Oh my gosh.
That's how you
I know what taping means, but I don't know what floating means, and I've always wondered that.
So taping is so you just screw up sheetrock.
You literally just tape it.
Or you hammer it. Have you seen that old video of the guy that just has like the sheetrock hammer with the hatchet on it, and it's like this guy doing it in the 50s, and he's just like cutting sheetrock with that hatchet and putting it up like in an archway. He's just like nailing it up. He's got nails in his.
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's incredible.
We used to just nail sheetrock up. Now most of the time you screw it up, but then there's seams, right? So you mean
screw it up like screw it in or like mess it up?
But like
we just screw it up.
Drill it in. And
now we just now we use a screwdriver.
Okay.
Right?
Or a drill.
Yeah.
To attach it to the wall.
Okay.
Seams.
Screwdriver.
And so then you take some, depending on what kind of tape you use, you take some sheetrock mud, which is like the green stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like a wall that's not painted, it's got all these little
Yes.
Weird
looks like
patches.
drywall patches on it. That's what it is. So they're putting mud over the screw holes so you can't see them. So it's a flat wall, and then they're putting mud on the seams and taping the seams, and then putting more mud over the tape usually. And then they sand all that down where it's flat, and then that's if you want to do texture, you do it after that. If you want to paint, you do it after that.
Why do they call that floating?
I don't know.
That's a great question. Because they always mind.
Mudding or
I always
pasting.
thought of it like the sheetrock knife is like floating on.
Yeah,
there.
I can see
Oh.
that. Like the
Yeah.
motion of it.
Right.
feels
Yeah,
floaty.
I guess. Yeah. And
I'll
then
accept it.
in Southeast Texas it gets wet in a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then we go in and tear it all down.
and then we do it all again.
Yeah, and do it
Done
again.
A lot of it.
Do it all over. Yeah.
What do you think about painting your walls?
It's a good idea.
Pro.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Oh, yellow.
Oh,
What do you think
no.
about yellow walls?
No.
Well, how yellow
Yay
are
or
we
nay?
talking?
Are you talking
about?
like neon yellow or
Neon yellow.
that's a thing?
Isn't yellow
Is that a
supposed
thing?
to be-
Yes.
Neon.
It's meant like a
Yes,
nice
is it-
honey mustard.
Ooh.
Wolf.
I like to eat
That's
it,
the
but
color that people
I
paint
wouldn't
their
like to
yellow
look at it.
walls.
Isn't yellow supposed to be like a calming color? Like, aren't insane
Yeah.
asylums the walls are painted
Oh,
yellow?
are they?
I think so. If,
Oh.
if you go to a
I
mental
thought it was supposed to be like happy.
Blue.
I thought blue was
I thought blue was calm.
calming.
What are the calming colors? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Blue,
Are they? Is it?
It's
And
definitely
shades of
blue.
blue. Gray.
but see, like warm colors, not like
Maybe.
vividly bright, like reds. are probably
Orange
not
or
calming.
Right.
red?
Pink
Yeah,
is
like-
definitely a like excitability color.
Excitability.
Okay.
Pink is excited.
Anxious.
We're not color theorists, by the
No.
way,
No,
so don't
you're
take
not.
our word for it.
I could
We are
Google
I'm not
it.
colorist either.
Yeah, I do professionally color footage all the time. So
Okay.
that if anybody knows what they're talking about, it's
Well, that's a horse of a different color.
Do you want to paint your walls yellow?
no. But we had a house. Oh my gosh, this house. We had a house whenever I was growing up, where my father let my mother pick. My father is usually like he wants to have a controlling hand over what happens in the house. He let my mother pick the wall color, and she wanted yellow walls with like a copper glaze.
What would that
Whoa.
It came out like the most gaudy gold color you've ever seen. It looked like we lived inside an Egyptian pharaoh's and it was awful. Like we finished it and we were like, yeah, this is bad. And we just left it for like 6 years.
Wow.
And it was the most bonkers thing because like my mom like acknowledged like we finished and she was like, this is awful. I hate this so much. And we just left it. I don't know why we didn't just
You
repaint.
left it.
But I worked
Yeah.
hard for this, so it's going to
Yeah.
stay up for a while.
Golden
It was a pain
slumber.
too. Like we like glazed it like by hand. Like it
Ooh.
was.
What's I'm confused about what the glaze is. Is that
It's like a highlight. Like you like.
it's like a shellac or like a
no, it's like a literally like you like put it on your fingers and literally you just like rubbed it onto the highlights of the wall.
finger painting?
Yeah, it was like that.
Finger
It
painted
was,
your house.
it
Finger
was-
painted my whole house.
It was crazy. It was bonkers.
It reminds me of a story that has nothing to do with your story.
Okay, then how does it remind you?
But here's the background you'll need to know.
Okay.
In the Olympics, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there's a guy named Carl Lewis. You remember Carl Lewis?
Of course.
Sounds familiar.
Carl Lewis was like breaking records. He was like the Usain Bolt of like,
Okay.
yeah. But he always would wear gold shoes
Mm.
and he'd throw his shoes into the audience. There also used to be, I don't know if it still exists because it is a store for old people and their clothing. There used to be a store in Beaumont called the White House.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's-
White House Black Market.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is now.
I
It
didn't realize
just
it
used to
still
be the White House.
existed.
Right.
So that's the background. Carl Lewis had gold shoes. There's a store in Beaumont called the White House.
Okay.
That's the
We're at the doctor's office with Mark Lee when he's a child.
Mark Lee.
You don't know Mark Lee. They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Mark
this-
Lee is
the
my
story is
cousin
gonna
that
be
used
good.
to live.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Okay.
Mark Lee is a child. I'm probably in high school. I think I'm old enough to be taking him to the doctor by myself, I think. Because I think it was just me and him. And he's young enough to where he needs somebody to take him to the doctor. Anyway, there's this lady in the office wearing these like super gaudy, like golden shoes.
Oh,
Straight up
gosh.
gold shoes. And he leans over to her. Mark Lee is still like this. He'll still just ask anybody a random question. But he was like, did you catch those at the Olympics? And she was like, no, I got these at the White House. He's like, you got those at the White House?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my gosh, this story gets.
I don't know which one's cooler.
Yeah. Might be.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man.
That's one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
That is a truly funny story. My sister, one time, I was up in the attic.
Have we started? Are we done?
Yeah,
Are
we
going?
started. We definitely started.
Oh,
Okay.
Should we
okay.
tell
Just in
people
case you
who's
didn't
here?
know. It's Tanner and Logan. You heard their voices. Tanner and Logan. Hey guys, how's it going? Tanner, I
we
feel
could have
like
started like 10 minutes ago. I
Oh,
think.
we did. We started way back whenever
Oh, wow.
we were like
Okay.
talking about.
This way you don't get nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just
It's like
ease into
the
it.
doctor gives you the shot when you're like talking.
While
like,
he's
"Oh,
talking
you
to
already
you, yeah.
Tanner, I don't think that you've ever been on the podcast before.
I was on the podcast once, a long time ago, on Adoption Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was forever ago.
It was like me,
William.
and William, Ashley,
Yeah.
there were a couple other
That was
people.
right whenever I first started. And that's
Yeah.
interesting because Logan, the first thing that she said whenever she came in was, oh, we don't record this on iPhones anymore. Because that was back in the day where literally.
Because we used to like
we were
put
in
in
the
the
epicenter.
iPhone in a cup.
Yeah, right.
And we're at that table that's not even in the epicenter anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we would all record around the table
Yeah.
with our iPhones.
I was thinking I had to, return all my texts, and because I'm gonna have to put my phone on airplane mode. And
That's a
Yeah.
good, that would be a good mindset to be in because
Yeah.
I ruined a couple
Yeah.
because I got phone calls in the middle
Right.
of them, and that was before the time we realized that it would
Right.
stop your recording.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I ruined one of the
Ooh.
Gideon
Bonkers.
podcasts because of
One of
that.
the
Oh,
Gideon?
that's
We had to
right.
redo-
That was so
We had to
long
redo
ago.
a Gideon podcast
That's
because of that.
funny.
Gideon, like
And
the organization,
Gideon
or
had, like,
Gideon
come-
Crump?
No, Gideon Crump
Right.
could be his own organization. But.
Right.
He came after work, so he was like
Yeah.
tired. He was like
After
like,
a night
done.
shift,
was,
like he
wanted
came
to
like
be
7
done.
o'clock.
oh my
Goodness.
gosh,
Yeah, it was early in the
we
morning.
had to redo it.
Yeah, it was super funny.
I didn't know
Uh,
what was going to happen.
that
You
was
didn't know.
fun-
You didn't tell me. I
That
got a
was
phone call.
forever ago.
I know.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I wonder if that's still out there. I need to find that.
Yeah.
I'll put like a link to it in the
Throwback.
description or something.
repost. Hashtag Throwback
TBT.
Thursday.
a
Wait,
thing, right?
Tuesday. Throwback
Throwback
Tuesday.
I think it's
Tuesday?
Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Is it
Well,
Thursday?
yeah,
It would
Throwback
make sense if it's Thursday.
But this goes out on Tuesday,
Oh, okay.
so it's Throwback Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't sound
We're
as good.
starting it.
You can't
Yeah,
have,
started
you
here.
can't have a man crush except for on a Monday. You can't have a woman crush except for on a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
You can't have
You
a
could
throwback
just
except
put-
for on a Thursday.
Yep.
Just
The-
put
that is the
TBT and
law.
then
What's-
it
according
works
to the
either
law.
What
way.
is Tuesday for in terms of hashtags?
I don't know actually.
What's Friday for?
Flashback Friday.
Flashback Friday, maybe?
Is that what
Is that
Does
a
that
real
happen?
thing?
It's a real
That's a
thing.
real thing?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What's Tuesday?
morning?
Tuesday
Tuesday
morning.
morning.
The store.
I thought you were like Tuesdays with Maury. Like that.
Maury Povich. Of course. There was a story I was going to tell before.
About your sister that
Yeah.
I interrupted to introduce our guest.
Right.
I apologize.
They're here. Hey guys. It's super exciting.
What's up?
But yeah, one time my sister, I had been up in the attic. I was like handing my mom Christmas decorations, but she had to like get through. Like we had a small hallway, and that's where the attic was, and so the ladder like was in the way. And so she put the ladder up enough to where she could walk underneath it, but the door was still open. And my sister had like just woken up, and she walked in the hallway and was so perplexed. I was like, "Did you jump up there?" She was so confused. I was like, "Yes, Chloe. I leapt into the attic with my superhuman."
It's a good 8-foot jump.
Yeah.
You know?
You could have got some mad street cred if you
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You should have went with it.
I should have just let her believe
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Don't
For sure.
mess with me.
Yeah.
It's always good to put the fear of God into your
Well, I
into
already
your
did that
siblings.
with the Jedi training that we did.
Oh,
Every Tuesday and
what?
Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday.
I was
That's
12.
what Tuesdays are for.
Yeah.
Jedi training Tuesday.
Yeah. I was 12. And I was a super big Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
And I had a
Was?
little sister.
Yeah, I like you say that in past tense.
And,
And you had a little sister.
this is a different
Explain
one
what
from
happened.
Chloe. Yeah.
She in the attic.
They still make fun of me like to this day. They'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna do Jedi training," because like I think like one time I like was did a stupid thing. And
Is there a
like,
Star
we
Wars
did, like,
kid video of you
lightsaber.
like
Oh,
with
there
a baton
is
in your garage
undoubtedly
making
some-
Star Wars noises?
Yeah, it's probably not quite that bad. I wasn't quite that old.
Do
but-
people know what Star Wars Kid is still? It
I
like
hope
Oh,
so.
yeah, in
I
the
seriously
garage.
hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've seen that.
It's a
Okay.
very funny.
what about Chocolate Rain?
Chocolate Rain?
That's super old.
That is old.
What's
now.
that one?
That's the skinny
guy-
kid like
Chocolate
with a
Rain.
yeah.
He's-
I don't know.
Yep, that's about
Yeah.
it. That's
That was
That's
like
about
that
the whole
was
video.
There we go.
That was the
It's a
early
long
days
song.
of YouTube.
I feel like
Yeah.
I was there.
That was pre Google YouTube.
Wow.
What else were viral videos? Early viral videos.
That lady yelling to like leave Britney Spears alone.
Oh, yeah.
Not a lady,
Leave
but
her.
yes.
Wasn't it a lady?
I think it was a dude.
Oh, I'm remembering that wrong. Maybe I'm like conflating the meme where the lady is yelling at the cat. That's the person
That's
I see in
new.
my head
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
new.
Britney Spears.
No.
I think I'm conflating those. Whoops.
Nice.
Yeah, remember?
Maybe a lady. Just to be sure. But I don't believe it is.
Oh. Speaking of ladies,
Oh.
I want to know
Yeah, where is this going? Hey,
Tell me.
this is a transition.
Speaking of ladies, eh? News
gonna-
have
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting a
Who
phone
has
call.
their-
I'm getting a
who
phone
has-
Blaine,
call.
turn your
Oh,
phone
no.
off.
Blaine has his
That's
ringer.
an
I feel like
unknown number.
I feel like
too.
you should answer it.
No
Maybe
way.
it's your
Yeah,
lady.
It's not in my
Answer.
phone.
Speaking of ladies,
No
answer.
way. It's a
Can
number
I answer it?
No, it's a number that's on my phone.
What if it is a lady? and She
If
answers.
they're-
Then you're in
if
trouble.
they're the people-
I just want the record to show that Blaine's sound was on.
It was.
It was.
Okay.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
If you answer those calls, that's a robocall. And if you answer them, it lets them know that that's a real number, and then they call you.
I answer them and mess with them.
Yeah, well, that's why you get more.
You mess with the
robocalls.
robot?
I don't get any more, actually. I don't get them at all because I'm.
My mom did that just the other day. Like I was like, don't answer it. She was like, I have to answer it. What if it's important? So she answered it, and it was a robocall. And so she hung up, and then like the same, like it tells you like where it's calling from, and it was like Nashville, Tennessee, or something like that. But it was a different phone number every time from the same location. And it called like once every like 30 minutes
Mine's the reverse.
for the rest of the day.
I don't answer it because what if it's somebody I don't want to talk to? Not if it's. I mean,
Kevin's screening his calls.
I kind of am. But like if it's a number I don't have saved, like now I save. I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Okay,
We're
I'll say it.
retracting what was just
yeah.
said.
So I'll save a number like, oh, I'm going to be using this person's phone
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
I need to know
Yeah.
when this person's calling. I will also save a number if I need to know when a person's calling that I do not to answer the phone.
That is a completely
That is great.
understandable
because I
impulse.
stopped. I didn't do that. Like I was, well, I need to say this number, but then the number kept coming up.
Yeah,
I was like, I need to know when that
no.
number is calling. Now.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes total
Smart.
sense.
that is
Yeah.
smart.
It does.
Are there any middle ground people
And
like?
anyone listening to this, I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, if you're someone I interact with on a regular basis,
And
know that
it
it's not
usually
you.
isn't people that I'm. That'd be really horrible if it's people. Ooh.
Whoops.
Let me make sure I say Blaine's number.
You interrupted my point about
I'm sorry.
a lady, and now that
Oh yeah.
Oh, about
so
your
much
lady.
Yes,
Okay,
the
tell us
lady.
about-
Okay.
Please,
Tell us
please.
about your
yeah, I'm
special
telling
lady
you,
friend.
you've made this very weird now because
Speaking of ladies, this is about your mom.
no, but I go through like what's trending on Twitter and Google and stuff like that before we do these, just to see like what's in the news.
Yeah,
They're putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill.
they've been saying that
Oh.
forever.
Yeah, but now they're like actually doing it. They
Yeah.
they weren't for a while, and now they actually are. So it's a big thing. They're going to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, and they're going to put Andrew Jackson is going to stay, but he's going to like go on the back, and they're going to put like MLK and the suffrage like movement thing on like the back of the $5 bill.
And
The you know that
what
suffrage
names
thing.
would be included in the suffrage movement?
It's not like specific people. It's like
Yeah,
the
but
march.
if they were going to put some, who would they put?
The mom from Mary Poppins.
No, the mom from Mary Poppins. Oh yeah, because she's
Votes for women. I know that one.
That's what you know about it. Is the mom wears a sash.
Hey,
and there's
okay.
a song.
So that's
Susan
a part
B.
of
would
American.
be a good one to say.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, I know that one but I didn't. I definitely didn't think that she was a pilot. Why do I think that she's a pilot?
Maybe because she has like a middle initial that's named. I don't know.
A pilot?
Wasn't
You
it?
care about
was she
Amelia
like-
Earhart?
I guess.
That we said
I
at the
don't
same
know.
time, Jinx.
Damn.
And now neither one of y'all can talk, so
Yeah,
blame
Oh,
I
Jinx
me and
doesn't
you.
work on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jinx yourself. These are the rules of
They
Jinx.
jinx each other
Yeah.
so that
You
cancels it
cheated.
out.
Oh,
He
okay.
can't talk
Yeah, I
until
can't
someone
talk.
says
Oh,
his name
okay.
3 times. Tanner.
Thank you.
We're on a podcast. You have to be able to talk.
I know, right?
The rules are you buy a Coke.
Your lady story was the Harriet Tubman thing? Is that
Yeah.
what it was? Okay.
That was,
This is
speaking
very
of ladies, they're
anticlimactic.
putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill.
Yeah,
Did
I've
you see
never heard
the?
that.
Did you
I-
see the Harriet Tubman movie?
No, but that
I
looked
want to.
dumb.
I want
Why?
to
That looked
also.
dumb.
Why?
They like made like this weird like action like shoot 'em up like.
They have to. So
oh
people
yeah,
will
I'm
watch.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Some of it is true.
well,
some
no,
of it is
yeah,
definitely
Harriet Tubman
true.
was like a freaking cool person. Like Harriet
No,
Tubman.
even the
did
action parts
crazy
are
stuff.
true. Like the Underground
Yeah.
Railroad was a real thing.
No,
Okay.
and Harriet Tubman like actually led like military raids during the Civil War.
Yes.
So like yeah, some of that is true, but like the way that they shot it and like the way that they like.
But they
were, like,
made it
making
look cool.
No, it's not even
Gross.
that. It just I don't know. It just
You want to
felt-
watch a Kim Burns documentary? Is that what you want to do?
No, but I want
This
something
is
that's going to
Harriet
demonstrate
Tubman.
like
I just hit the microphone.
some. You're great, Kevin. No,
Probably not
RIP
working
headphone
anymore.
users.
Yeah.
Something that
We gotta start over.
demonstrates-
It's like the Gideon
That's
podcast.
the Gideon podcast.
So
we
here's
just-
the whole thing.
Kevin,
Mine
shut
was
this
saying
one
something
down.
about ladies
Jacob
and gold.
hit the button. Something that has some kind of depiction of reality, and not like.
I've
this
not seen the
weird
movie, so I don't know
action.
how far it is.
I guess, and I haven't seen it either, but I didn't have a whole lot of
I
desire
did
to see it.
see Good Lord Bird. I told you about this. Did I talk about this?
Maybe.
It's a Showtime show. I did the free
Showtime
Showtime
show?
Showtime show. A Showtime show on Showtime. It's it shows
We
on,
definitely did talk about this because we made that joke last
shows
time.
on time. But it's about John Brown, the guy who like tried to start like a slave insurrection to free the slaves.
Oh, wow.
And apparently, I didn't know this before I watched the show, had some interaction with Harriet Tubman.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But it's like sort of like a black comedy.
Those
So
are my favorite.
yeah. And Ethan Hawke is like the guy, and it's
Interesting.
funny and sad all at the same time.
Which is two emotions you always want to mix together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're learning anything from Pixar's Inside
That's
Out.
true. That is true. Inside Out, and I haven't seen this, but Soul, I hear, was
Oh
very good.
yeah,
Soul,
I heard it
I
was.
like.
Yeah.
As long as you don't take your theology from it. It's fine.
I don't know how many people are reorganizing their religious belief around
It's like,
a Pixar
oh man, I need to
movie, but
rethink that.
It's the same amount of archaeologists who reorganized their archaeological beliefs around
Indiana Jones.
no,
Because I definitely did.
I was thinking the Good Dinosaur
Oh.
to keep with the Pixar movie
Nice.
theme. But so yeah, Harry Tubman's on the $20 bill. That was
Yep.
in the news, and
Which is great. I'm all for it.
they're making it's fantastic, and they're making a Harry Potter TV show,
What?
Oh.
Harry Potter live action series on HBO Max.
They should merge the two Harriet Potter. Of the Underground Railroad of Station. What is it? 6.5. Yes. We're doing it.
So is the main character transgender?
Oh, boom! Take that, J.K. Rowling.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Logan did
we've
it.
done it. We made the next hit television series. We got to pitch it.
I mean, I
in.
feel like it's like on.
They're still in
you know,
development on the series, so technically
brand
we
for
could
this
send an open
year.
letter, and they would potentially make.
Do you know who Gus Johnson is?
No.
He does like stupid joke videos on YouTube, but it was like the title of this. He makes like 3-minute like joke videos. The title of the video was J.K. Rowling every 5 seconds, and he's like, he's himself he's one of these guys that does like himself talking to himself. So he's himself sitting in the.
Is this the
living
guy
room.
with the pitch meeting thing?
No, different guy. He's himself in the living room, but then it cuts to like him wearing a blonde wig and like peeking around the corner in the hallway, and he's J.K. Rowling. It's J.K. Rowling every 5 seconds. He's like, "Hey guys," and he's like reading Harry Potter. He's like, "What?" And he's like, Dumbledore's gay. So what? It doesn't say that about anything in the book. No, he's been gay the whole time.
Yeah. J.K. Rowling is interesting. Her Twitter account is fascinating. And is she George Lucasing the whole Beasts thing?
I don't know. What is
I
going
hear
on
those
with
are
that?
really bad.
No. I like those.
Oh yeah?
I have no problem with Fantastic Beasts. You know why? Because there's not books to go along with them. So I'm not sitting next to someone in the theater when I'm watching it and be like, what the heck does that mean? What does it mean that,
Well, if
like,
you read the
what is a
book,
hork?
then you
Yeah,
would
and they're
understand.
like, oh, well, it explains it more in the book. I'm like, I'm not reading the book right now. I'm sitting here watching the movie. I should be able to enjoy this medium without having read an entire series of books to do that. And I'm not anti-reading. I'll read the books.
For sure.
But
A movie's a movie.
like the Dune movie should make sense on its own
Absolutely.
without the book.
Which it's not going to.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings
I don't
movies
understand how that's
make perfect
possible.
sense on their own
Yep.
without reading the book. Books are much better, but the movies are great. No, we can't do this.
No, yeah. I actually wanted to ask y'all, what's better, the books or the movies?
Definitely the books.
I loved the books.
They change things in the movies,
They do.
and they change the order of things a lot.
Yeah.
And they cut out important things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still
Case
really like
settled.
the movies.
I love the movies. They were some of the best movies ever made. They're not better than the books.
So it's
Yeah,
more,
but the books have like some crazy, circuitous whole things that just didn't feel terribly like there were parts that I was like trudging through the book to get to the next plot point.
So Tolkien
And I
does
never do that with the
take a
movies.
long time to set the scene and describe how things look and everything, and I didn't like that at first when I was reading them. I kind of stopped reading them in high school, but I went back after that and read them after I'd seen the movies. So I hadn't actually finished reading Lord of the Rings until I had seen all the movies.
It just felt like to me that, and maybe this is definitely
It's not for everybody. I understand.
right. This is definitely not totally true, but it felt like to me that Jackson trimmed some of the fat. Now he might have thrown some of the baby out with the bathwater because there is some great
If you're
stuff
going to
in the
make
books.
4-hour movies, so he went into the appendices a little bit and put stuff in there that's not necessarily part of the larger story, but makes it make more sense with The Hobbit, especially.
Yeah.
Like
Hobbit's garbage.
he could have made The Hobbit a 1 4-hour movie and it would have been fine. It would have been great.
He could have made The Hobbit 1 3-hour movie and it would have been fine.
Yeah. I mean, just make it like when you made one of the... I would just use the format that you used for the first 3. Extended editions are even better than the theatrical editions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But even the extended editions, not as good as the book. You get so much more of what everything means from the book. What's Grey Havens? Have you read the book? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you all read the book? Have you seen the movie?
But I don't.
Yes.
You've read the book and seen the movie?
Yes.
Not read the book, seen the movie.
No.
Not read the book.
Whoa,
or seen
hold
the
on.
movie.
Wait.
Okay.
You haven't seen the movie?
I thought Grey Havens was a band.
It is a band, but
It
it's
is a band.
based on a
Okay.
concept.
I
from-
haven't.
Logan,
not.
you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies?
Yes.
Oh, whew,
Oh,
scared
okay.
me. Scared me for a
So you've
second.
seen the
No.
movies. What happens to Frodo at the end of the Lord of the Rings movies?
Logan has not seen.
Something. Oh no! Wait, no, I haven't. No,
She
I haven't. No,
fell
I
asleep during the Fellowship of the
did.
Ring,
I
So
did.
this-
and then
Logan
has refused to
You
watch
have
the
to
other two.
understand something
exactly
about
what
me.
Joey
Against
Walker has
American
done.
culture.
We started watching Fellowship of the Ring. He fell asleep and he's like, I'm not. This is not for me.
Yeah.
I do not stay awake in movies.
That is true. Like, we
Something
could-
you have to know about me.
Like she could be like, it could be like
You've seen
noon.
the first 10 minutes of every movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Up must be the most sad movie in the world
Oh,
for you.
I stayed awake for.
You've only seen the first 10 minutes.
It gets better,
It gets
Logan.
better
You
than
should
that.
watch it again.
I fell
No,
asleep.
I've seen Up.
I saw them
I
live their
cried
lives
twice.
and she died, and that's the
It
end.
was the most complete first 10 minutes of movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
I know.
I got the whole story.
The story right
Completely
there.
satisfied as I drifted off into slumber.
That's Logan. You have to watch the Lord of the Rings movies.
I know.
They're so
Tanner
good.
has. Didn't I make it through the first one?
No. You,
Yes, I did. Because we tried to watch it
I
again.
think you got like 30 minutes in.
Anyway, the
Anyway.
is
point
more
I
than
was trying to
10.
make that I would have made if Logan had seen the movies but
Yeah.
not read the book was that there's kind of a little bit of the Harry Potter syndrome going on in the movies. There's things that aren't really explained that you know a lot better if you have read the book.
I don't even
You
remember
know
what
the
Grey
big-
Havens is.
It's where he sails off at the end.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that is better explained in the book.
Better explained in the
Yeah.
book.
But
And
I
it's-
don't
and it's
mind
explained
the
ahead of
fact that
time,
it's
so-
not terribly explained in the movie.
No, I don't either. But
Uh-huh.
the book is better because you get a better picture.
But I
of
don't
it.
think that it has to make sense to be good.
That seems strange.
Well, no, like there's certainly some kind of sense that he is moving off into a next chapter in his
Oh
life.
yeah, I'm
that is
I don't think it doesn't make
gonna be
sense.
bigger
I just
and
think it's not
better.
completely like.
well, yeah, but like I said, like it doesn't like I think the mystery of what that life is going to bring Frodo is what's appealing in the movie instead of having like the actual like sharp focus definition for exactly.
I don't
what's
think there's a
happening.
sharp focus definition in the book.
I don't really think there was either.
But I think it's
It makes more sense.
it's much more of whatever you're going to call it, the theology of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
But
because they do go into like White Cliffs
Yeah, yeah,
and all that kind of stuff in the book. I do remember that now. But one of the biggest things is the ending in the books.
yeah,
Does cap that series off much better,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little, like I said, a little baby with the bathwater, but I don't mind ditching the ending in the movies. They're fantastically made movies.
I don't mind it. I like the movies.
Yeah,
But the book is better.
but like
There's
I
no
don't-
Tom
I don't need-
Bombadil.
I don't need to.
I know, Tom
I
Bombadil
don't
is, like,
need
the
40
best.
pages of Tom Bombadil.
Why?
Why do I need that? Why do I need them like stuck in the forest and then the Barrow Whites and they're like in the
Tom
marsh
Bombadil's more than
on
just
the way
some guy in the
to
forest.
Yeah, but and not really in the
Merry
book,
old
in the
Tom
whole
Bombadillo.
story. I don't know. It just that's one of the parts where I was like, okay, come on, let's get to the next one.
No, I was
Let's
like,
go. Giddy up
It's disappointed
is what I
that
say.
he wasn't
to
in the movie.
Whenever our
And
story is.
that the stuff in the Shire is not really in the movie. At post,
Yeah,
uh,
certainly the Shire is more
Mordor,
fleshed
yeah.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you like the books better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I like the books way better. But I don't know.
What is your reasoning behind that?
I've always liked the reading the books more than watching the movie because I get my own ideas, my
exactly.
own, I can see it in my head.
You get to
know?
exercise your creative.
Right.
It's the same
Impulse.
thing.
Right,
Ready
yeah.
Player One. Did you see Ready Player One?
Oh, book way better than the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But people love Ready Player One. They think it's a great movie.
Do they?
I can't because the book is
So much better.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
much better.
There's a Ready Player Two now. I haven't read it.
I have.
I
not
hear
heard good things.
I have not heard good things because they say it's the same thing as Ready Player One, but I'm like, I would read Ready Player One just for like his reference game.
Yeah.
Even if there's not that much
was
of a
great.
story, like he just references all of these 70s and 80s movies.
And it's so effortless in the book. That was the biggest
Yeah,
distinction
yeah.
between the movie and the book is like it just tried so
Did
hard.
Yeah, the movie's like, did everybody see the DeLorean
Yeah.
from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Did everybody hear the music that we played? Do you see what we're doing?
Yeah.
But in the book, he won't say that he's quoting. He won't say that he's quoting Star Wars. It'll just be a Star Wars quote, and
You
just
just
have to
live in
know
this
it.
world that's you can completely constructed of references.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is like my life.
And the
so.
characters like
True.
arc in that book.
True, yeah. You don't say anything original, so
The character's arc in the book is so much better fleshed out than it was
That's
in the movie, and that book is way better than the movie. It was a
that's
fun
how
movie.
I feel about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy thing to say.
No, what a crazy thing to say is it doesn't have to make sense. That's what is crazy.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Why not?
Logan,
Because
we
it-
started the first ever fight
I
on,
doubt
on
this
the
is the
podcast.
first
There's
fight.
been way
This isn't
more
even the
fights.
most intense.
We've
fight.
had whole fights like we had to like cut out of the
Oh my
episode
goodness.
because they were that's not true.
Apologize
I don't-
later.
I don't think that is true.
Just gotta take 30 minutes and cool off. You
The
know?
thing is,
Yeah.
Blaine keeps being wrong about things.
Yeah, it would help it. I didn't punch people in the face with my opinion.
Wherever he didn't go, Jacob, cut his mic.
Yeah. But yeah, Harry Potter seems like a series where the books would be better than the movies. But I have neither read the books nor seen the movies, and I'm not about to sit down for 20 hours of subpar films.
As someone
just not.
who's only read the first book and seen all the movies, don't waste your time.
Yeah, that's
I did
Unless
see the
y'all
Harry
are-
Potter movies.
Okay. I was forced to sit down and watch all of the Harry Potter movies, and like every 5 seconds, I'm like, "What are the rules of this wizarding world?
Yeah.
Can you just make anybody float?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know. Why don't we know? Why don't we know
Yeah.
the rules? I know how Jedi work.
Yep.
I know what they can and can't do
Yep.
most of the time.
your magic systems want to have like really well defined. That's what like Avatar: The Last Airbender did really well. Is it has a really well defined
TV show.
Oh goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Although the Netflix show is still happening, but the people
They're acting like the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie didn't happen.
yes.
Okay.
But
Sorry, I said Shyamalan.
I know I was going to say something about it. The TV show, the animated show, was run by these two guys, and then they sold off the property. M. Night Shyamalan made his, and it was terrible. And so now they're making a new one for Netflix. But the guys were like actually going to make it themselves. And Netflix was like, yeah, but we want it to be like for adults because we want to cash in on that like nostalgia. And then like new kids aren't going to know what it is. So like, let's make it for adults. And they were like, no. And they left. And so they're not even in the process anymore.
It is
So I'm
wonderful
worried.
being the same age as like the new studio executives that are alive now because they're making all the things that I loved from when I was a kid. Like every Disney announcement, they're like, "Hey, we're bringing back Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers." I was like, yes, give me more of that, please. Like, we're gonna do a new Mighty Ducks movie with Emilio Estevez. I was like, "Stop, please!" My brain
It's too much.
will explode. We're gonna make 12 Star Wars shows.
And talk about 12 Star Wars shows. There is a whole lot of new Star Wars content coming up and a whole lot of new Marvel content. Hey, how is
WandaVision?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is it?
Yeah. Has anybody seen it?
I have not.
So it's super weird. It's not gonna be everybody's bag. I love what I think that they are doing, but I can't talk about it that much because none of you have seen it. It's gonna be super spoilery. But one of the things that they do that you can talk about because it's in the trailer is it's every episode kind of takes on a couple of old TV shows personalities.
Right. That's what it seems like.
And so that I love because I didn't grow up on like Dick Van
Leave
Dyke
It
Show
to
and Leave It to Beaver. But I would watch them. That was what Nick at Night used to be.
Yes.
Now I think Nick at Night is like the George Lopez show and Everybody Loves Raymond. Like but anyway, they used to be like all these super old TV shows.
Right.
And they do it perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, and they do it straight faced. They could do with Paul Bettany, who plays Vision, and with Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wanda.
Right.
They could do like a spoof of this one of these old like sitcom-y shows, and it would probably be
the
super
cinematography
popular.
looks so convincing.
Yeah,
Like they're like they have like the right like this real soft like filter on all of what's her face's shots, and just the way that the entire production design and cinematography looked like they took painstaking efforts to.
It's great.
Yeah.
And they give you little nuggets of what might possibly really be going on in every episode. So
I've seen some.
It's
spoilers.
really something that you need to watch in a group of people so you can talk about it after. Be like, what do we think's happening here?
It's like a mind trippy kind of show. It looks like.
Yeah.
And I've seen some spoilers that.
It reminds me of Lost in that
intrigued
way,
me.
which is why I like it.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like it does that. Yeah.
So, who do you think's more successful, Mary-Kate and Ashley or Elizabeth?
Don't Mary Kate and
That
Ashley have like
was-
this whole big empire of?
Where did that question come from?
You're talking about Elizabeth
Elizabeth who?
Olsen.
It's actually a good question. Elizabeth Olsen
Is WandaVision?
is Wanda? Yes, Maximoff from WandaVision.
Whatever her name is.
Is WandaVision?
Yeah. Scarlet Witch.
How sexist. Her name
Is
is not
her-
the name of her husband.
It's Scarlet Witch. Isn't that her
Scarlet
name?
Witch is her like comic name. I don't think they've ever called her that in the MCU. They
Whatever.
call her by her name.
Excuse me.
Wanda.
I don't know.
Oh,
Marvel
which, by the way,
movies.
can we just discuss that they totally, between like Avengers Age of Ultron and the next Avengers movie, she's like, hey, I don't have an accent anymore. She starts off with like this super cheesy
Russian accent,
This is my
yeah.
brother, Pietro. And now she's just like, I'm just Elizabeth Olsen. Because they're like,
I tried.
They're like, oh wait, we forgot. It's 2017 and we can't have you doing like an Eastern Bloc accent.
Yeah.
And so they just like, why don't you just stop doing it?
Yeah.
And she just talks like a normal like American person now.
I didn't know
Oh, that's great.
But we'll go back and watch Avengers Age of Ultron. She's doing like a Russian accent.
Oh yeah.
That's so
I
funny.
remember.
Like a super cheesy.
It's bad. Yeah, it's
like,
not good.
Like Rocky and Bullwinkle. We will get Moose and Squirrel. That's her Russian accent. That's why she had to
They
stop.
could have
I actually
easily
think that's
done-
a line that she says.
What, Moose and Squirrel?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what Rocky and Bullwinkle is?
is-
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
We
Is
know
Elizabeth
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Olsen of? Why would she? Why would we
Elizabeth
compare
Olsen
her
is
to
the
Mary?
younger
That's
sister
their
of Mary
sister.
and Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Really?
The
Yes,
twins
they
from
they
Full
look
House.
I know
exactly
who
the
Mary Kate
same.
and Ashley are, Kevin.
I know.
I grew up in the '90s.
Well, you don't know that they're
Sort of.
related, so.
I know that
Obviously,
Mary
you
Kate
don't
and
know
Ashley are
enough.
related, but I didn't know they had a whole third person in the mix.
Sibling, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
The word is sibling.
yeah.
I didn't know they multiplied again. I didn't know their cells reproduced.
They're like gremlins. They feed them after midnight.
Budding off of one another.
No, it's probably they're probably issues from the same source that the twins did. Nothing supernatural about
One would
it.
hope.
But Logan does raise a good question because
She does.
do they still have a lucrative fashion empire, or is
I
that
think
not a
they
thing
do.
anymore? I don't hear anything about them.
No, I don't
and
either.
Besides that, they didn't want to be in that
The Full House
Fuller
remake.
House
Right.
reboot, which was hot garbage.
Oh, trash!
It was horrible.
Trash.
I tried, but
I tried to.
in fairness, try to go back and watch the original Full House.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It is also
Yes.
hot
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's people that are probably listening to this like, no! I really tried. I loved Full House. I would wait
Me
as a
too.
kid for Full House to come on and like beg, let's go watch Full House. Let's change the channel from the 4 other channels that we have that exist and watch Full House.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
From
I
the
went
other
back
channels.
I went back and tried to watch Full House like when they did the Fuller House thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
how did I ever sit through
It's so
Oh.
sitcom.
30
man.
minutes of this?
It's
I know.
so cornball sitcom.
It's
It just
so
is-
bad.
I've never really understood.
I thought Uncle Joey was hilarious when I was a kid. Like he played a comedian on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
My sister was like a huge
it
fan. Of
cut
the show.
it out.
That's right.
Or Mr. Woodchuck or whatever his
Yes.
little thing is,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
his puppet on his public access TV show.
What about the Saved by the Bell remake? Have y'all watched that?
I've not
Oh,
watched
yeah,
that.
that's
But
true.
Saved by the Bell already I know doesn't stand up because somebody got like famous again. Like they were doing that celebrity boxing thing and Screech
Oh.
was on it. So I was like, oh, I remember Screech from, he's like 40, like Screech has had some hard years since the Bell stopped saving him.
Oh man.
Oh no.
And so I was like, oh man, let's go back and watch some Saved by the Bell. Still, how did I do that? I would watch 2 hours of Saved by the Bell on Saturday mornings. No problem.
problem.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, why?
5 minutes in, you're like,
You just
"I
didn't
gotta
have as
I gotta
many
do something
options.
else."
No,
Kevin.
I was
You didn't
a
have as many
stupid,
options
stupid
back then.
child.
Was the acting not as good back then? Like, did people learn how to act better?
Honestly,
Or
TV,
what is it?
TV just didn't have the budget. Or
TV didn't have the budget,
resources.
and there was. It's kind of like we were talking about earlier with like the reality show voice. I think there was like a sitcom cadence
Yeah.
that everybody.
the mid-Atlantic Atlantic accent.
No.
like from the 1940s.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But it's like that.
It is like that, yes. I was going to say, no, they weren't speaking
Kevin.
with a mid-Atlantic accent on like Growing Pains in the late 80s.
I wish.
Mom, did you get those sneakers I wanted? That's not. But you're talking about the same concept, yes.
Yes.
But there is like this,
Unreality.
this sitcom cadence like, Jeffrey,
Yes.
did you let the dog in the house?
Yes.
Like
Oh my
it's
gosh.
like what Catherine Hahn is doing on WandaVision. That's what she's doing, and she's doing it perfectly because that's how people used to act in these sitcoms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Her friend in WandaVision, that is from Parks and Rec, does that perfectly. But that's what I'm talking about. Like that's what like Saved by the Bell is too. Like Zach, like talking to the camera, and let me put down my portable phone. And it's like this huge thing that takes up half his face, and he starts talking to the camera. School is tough these days, man. Like that kind of. I'm like, why? How did I
never
ever
understood
find this
that.
entertaining?
But that's all sitcoms. Like that's sitcoms to this day. Like you go watch Big Bang Theory, they have like a sitcom-y accent.
There's a different sitcom cadence now. Now it's like
say something, wait for a laugh.
Yeah, wait for a laugh.
Gosh.
That's the sitcom cadence
bad.
now, which was still a part of it back then.
Yeah.
But the wait for a laugh thing, I can't do it. I can't,
Yeah.
like modern sitcoms, it has to be really, really, really good. Now, I could still get down on some Everybody Loves Raymond. I know
I love that show.
I was saying that, like, why is Nick at Night doing that? I just think it's because there should be, like, more classic things on Nick at Night. Not because Everybody Loves Raymond has any problems, because
Yeah.
it is still hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could still watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Does MASH have a laugh track?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Not that you say that. I don't think it does.
said that was
am I thinking
such
of
a-
I don't
movie?
remember them performing like
No.
that. But I think it
MASH
is
is
a laugh track.
great.
MASH is one
But
of
I
the
don't
greatest.
think there is a laugh track.
I didn't know that was a comedy.
Well, the movie is
I never watched it.
The movie's a comedy.
they're both comedies technically,
But
but
they're
they're
like kinda
but
dark
they're about a
comedies.
medical unit in the
Yeah.
Korean War. It's
Right.
that-
Yeah, I figured that was a pretty somber show.
It is a pretty
Yeah.
serious movie.
The movie is more serious than the TV show
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
The TV show gets pretty goofy.
Yeah, but also the TV show gets serious at times.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, well, that's why, like you talked
So did
about
Full House,
mixing
but-
mixing the
So does
emotions.
Full House.
Yeah.
You remember how you know Full House is getting serious?
They played that little piano track.
Yeah.
It's the lesson learning
Gracious.
music.
The lesson
Lesson
learning
learning
music.
DJ,
Oh my
what
gosh.
you have to understand is
Oh my gosh.
Michelle gets scared in the nighttime.
Continue, please. I want to hear.
It's like the
I
big
wanna hear
problem of
this
the episode
whole
is
improvised.
Michelle keeps coming in my room, Dad.
Yeah, and that's the
Oh, simpler
resolution.
times.
Yeah.
That's how we resolve.
Do you remember?
stories.
Okay, so we're going back to Full House. Sorry, everybody.
All right.
Do you remember?
If you skipped over
They-
that section of the episode, just keep going
Not
because
gonna make
we're
sense.
still there.
And we're still on Full House. They were sitting around in the writer's room. I know. I mean, what an intellectual
Yeah.
place that must have been, the Full House writer's room. But they were looking for a way to get both of the twins on screen at the same time. Do you remember what I'm about to say? Do you remember this
What?
Nope,
arc?
I
It was
do
this
not.
whole like 4-episode arc. Full House never did this. It was like this continuing story. Like Michelle. This is by the time that Mary Kate and Ashley are like they're like 9 or 10 or something. They're like
Yeah.
they're like old enough to be like she's not like the little
Towards
baby
the
going,
end.
"You got it, dude."
Yeah.
That's not her only line anymore. She's like has like actual story arcs in the
Was
show.
that? I thought that was the other one.
This is towards
That's the middle daughter who says you got it, dude. Doesn't
No.
it?
No, that's
Nope.
Michelle.
No, Michelle says you got it, dude. Stephanie the middle. Is Stephanie the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Says
Stephanie
how rude.
says how rude.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And pin a rose on your nose.
Ah, yes.
Logan knows.
Okay. Uncle Jesse says have mercy.
Oh my goodness. We don't
Joey
need to go
says
to
cut
the,
it out.
the archive
Okay. Anyway,
encyclopedia of
they came up with this story arc where Michelle is like horseback riding, and she falls off the horse
Yes.
and hits her head and gets
Yes.
amnesia, and she doesn't remember who she is. And so how she remembers who
What?
she is. How she remembers who she is her consciousness comes out of herself, and she's talking to herself. I think that whole story arc was just so they could get both of the twins on screen at the same time.
and
Wow.
everyone in the 90s just lost their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa! We always knew there were twins, but we never saw it.
Oh my god.
Except in the
That's,
thousands. Were you the age? You might be about the same age as my sister, my youngest sister.
I'm 32.
You are exactly the same age.
Okay.
She just turned 32, by the way.
Oh, when?
Last Thursday.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank
That is
you.
right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I'm so
Happy
sorry.
birthday.
Happy
It's
birthday.
okay. Thank you.
We've talked about
We had-
Full House for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. This is your birthday present.
Logan's birthday. But like all the Mary Kate and Ashley like VHS
Yeah.
tapes with
Yes.
like they go and solve mysteries. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that all coincided with their Full House fame. They were
Oh,
huge.
yes.
They were like
Oh,
the
yeah.
most. Yeah, they were in other movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh wait, no, I was gonna say Parent Trap, but that's the
That's
other one.
Lindsay Lohan.
It's Lindsay Lohan.
They were in a
and
movie
Lindsay
like
Lohan.
that though.
They were in a movie like that. It's called It Takes Two with Steve Guttenberg and Kirstie Alley. I know this because I watched it 1 million times at my sister's behest. Steve Guttenberg is the guy from Three Men and a Little Baby. That's probably what you know him best
Obviously, yeah.
from. Kirstie Alley is from Cheers.
What is?
I remember
the
Kirstie Alley.
Oh my gosh. I'm in a room with children.
I only know what Cheers is because of Frasier and The Office.
Why The Office?
That
Because they make Cheers
because
jokes?
Andy says that him and Karen's relationship is very
a big Sam and Diane. So you have to
Oh,
Google what Sam
gosh.
and Diane
Yeah.
meant. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's from
So
Cheers.
Sam and Diane was this.
And
will
that's
they,
how I
won't
found
they from
out.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley is the one that took Sam's place when she left the show. Kirstie Alley was like
Sam is
new,
the girl.
Sam is the girl.
Oh.
Yep.
Wait,
No, no,
Diane is
sorry,
the guy.
sorry.
I was like, wait.
Diane.
It's very progressive
Diane.
for
Yeah, right. That's a show in
show
the
in the
80s.
90s.
He's a former baseball player named Diane. No, Sam.
Oh,
Sam is
gosh.
the guy. Diane is the one who leaves. Diane leaves. But
Yes.
Kirstie Alley's the new Diane, not Sam. I got it mixed up.
Okay. So they replaced
that point-
the Pam in Cheers?
Yeah. Shelley Duvall.
wow.
Or is that her name? Or
Shelley
she's one of-
Duvall's in Cheers?
No, not Shelley Duvall. It was the other Duvall.
Robert.
It's Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall plays Diane from Cheers. If this was one of those podcasts where people like animate what we're talking about, that would be amazing.
If anybody wants to take that upon themselves, they are more than welcome to.
I want an animated picture of Robert Duvall and Ted Danson, young Ted Danson,
Yes.
behind the bar at Cheers. But it was a Duvall. It's going to bug me.
Okay.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Oh my gosh.
It's not. Is it not Shelley Duvall? Shelley Duvall's the other one. Shelley Duvall is olive oil and
Yes.
and Popeye.
No,
So
Shelley
who's the
Duvall-
other Duvall?
Shelley Duvall is Wendy Torrance in The Shining.
Okay. Yes. That's fine.
Olive
It's
oil
the same
from
person.
Popeye?
Same person. Well, I'm talking about the same realm.
Sure, whatever. My point is not my point. I was gonna say that I found out Googling who Sam and Diane was. I was like, oh, Cheers. And then I found out that Frasier, which like my family watched all
Is a
growing
spinoff
up,
of Cheers.
is a spinoff
He
of
was
Cheers.
just one of the barflies at Cheers.
How is that whole show just built around this like
Yeah, it was
weird
crazy
random
that they
character?
did that.
That's like
Wow.
making an entire show about
Shelley Long. It's not even a Duvall.
Yeah, that's like making
Not
an
the first time,
entire. That's like making an entire show about David Wallace.
They could do that.
They
I'd,
could do
I'd watch that.
Well, hey, spinoffs are not entirely out of the question for
Of The Office?
successes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, of anything. Like there are several shows
Yeah.
that you.
I mean,
don't
like,
realize
Frasier
are
was
spinoffs.
massively successful.
Yeah, Frasier was a spinoff. Rhoda. Nobody knows what
What?
Rhoda is,
I
but
do.
it's a Rhoda. It's a spinoff.
like a
Mary
rotoscope.
Tyler Moore show.
Mary Tyler Moore show. See, she knows.
I'm old
Boom.
enough to know these
These
things.
things used to be on Nick at Night.
Okay.
Better Call Saul.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Is a
We
spinoff of
loved
Breaking
Better
Bad.
Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul's still on.
Yeah. Is there a new
It's
season
not-
yet?
I don't know. I think it's coming up soon. I haven't looked at the release date for that. AMC does this thing where they like take a year in between seasons
yeah,
because they know what they got.
right.
Oh,
got
you
us
want
hooked.
more Better Call Saul? Only the first one's free.
Yeah.
And so
Did anybody ever watch El Camino?
yes, it was great.
Yeah.
It's just like 2 more episodes of Breaking Bad, which is why not? Yes, please.
I will gladly pay for this.
It was hard to watch.
Poor Jesse.
Yeah, so Jesse, I mean, I'm watching through Breaking Bad with some people now that have never seen it. I finally talked them into
Oh, wow.
watching Breaking Bad.
Is the Christian version of Breaking Bad
What's the Christian version of Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bread? Which is what you
Wow.
said.
Boo.
You know,
Breaking Bad is one of the best shows that's ever existed.
Yeah.
it's
And
certainly
I
up
like
there.
Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't seen how it
fascinating to
ends
me.
yet, but it's just the way that they construct the narrative, the acting, the way that there's nothing in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul that just means what you're seeing. It's all there's symbolism that runs throughout that that you know that they're trying to get at. Like to hear Vince Gilligan talk about what he's allowed to do on AMC that he wouldn't have been allowed to do on network TV. Like there's a shot that begins like I think the final season of Breaking Bad where it's just like 30 seconds zooming in on a door that we
Oh
don't.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and he said he could never get away with that with network TV because the shots need to be 3 to 5 seconds.
Right.
Right.
And you need to go to something else or people are going to change the channel. That's what they're telling him. And AMC was just like, they made it for HBO. They pitched it to HBO and HBO didn't want it. AMC said, yeah, do whatever you want to do. This is the best thing we've ever seen. And then he got to do anything he wanted, and it was one of the best
Which
shows
is
ever.
the only reason why AMC is a reputable network right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Is because of Breaking Bad.
Right.
Like AMC was like dying before Breaking Bad.
But now they have 1,000 shows.
What about The
Yeah.
Walking Dead?
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That was after
That was,
Breaking Bad.
Walking Dead came
You're
after
right.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, goodness. You're
Yeah.
right.
That was in the period of, and only
And
the
they
first 2
should
seasons
not
are
have
good of
told
Walking Dead.
the showrunners of Walking Dead to do whatever they wanted to do because
No, yeah, that was crazy.
it turned
Gets a
into
little weird.
yeah. Well, because never mind. We'll have
First
a
2
Walking-
seasons-
We'll have a whole Walking
Spoilers.
Dead episode.
First 2 seasons are great.
I haven't
You
finished
don't need to
Walking Dead.
watch.
I don't know how.
We haven't
We haven't
either.
either.
I
We
don't know how
stopped
I
watching.
stopped because I was like,
Season
this
8
is
or something.
so dumb.
After
It got real bad.
died, I was
Yeah.
like, no more.
Oh,
Can't do it.
what a way to go.
What a way to go.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we used to
I-
get together at my parents' house. with
I
a-
came to a few of those.
Yeah,
You
you
did.
did.
You're in the picture
Sunday
already?
nights. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I
I was in
remember
the
that.
picture.
All right. Yeah.
Gideon
nice.
asked me to stop coming because
Why?
I would talk about the difference in the show and the comics. He'd be like, I used to be the guy that knew all this stuff. He was joking.
Oh,
I
my
used to be the guy that knew all this stuff because you stopped coming for a while.
Sounds like Gideon.
See, I want to believe you that Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad,
So do it.
but you like Fargo too.
Oh, Fargo.
And-
Fargo, the TV show, you haven't seen because no one has,
This is-
but it's one of the best
Yeah.
things
This
ever
is
been
at
on
least
TV.
Tanner
the
wants
fourth
to
episode
watch
of the
it.
podcast. that
We
we
need to
talked
watch
about
it.
Fargo.
My
Wes
brother
watch it
told me.
together. Your
My-
brother said?
Yeah, he said you need to watch Fargo. And then he said, but Logan would hate it.
Yeah,
Logan probably would hate it.
Yeah.
it's okay. I'll
He
watch.
probably would hate the regular movie Fargo anyway, so.
Yeah, Tanner tried to get me to watch it, but
What, the regular movie?
right or is it
No.
a TV show?
The TV show.
So Noah Hawley is the showrunner for all of those, like, for most of the good good
Hawley,
FX
Noah
show.
Hawley.
Woo, boo, 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 boo. So it was like somebody else. And Stanley Kubrick over here. Okay.
Okay, don't even.
Mrs.
Begin.
Stanley Kubrick.
Ew.
That's what Blaine writes in his notebook.
And I would be lucky. Stanley Kubrick is a cinematic genius.
Was, yes.
And how dare you
Was.
compare anyone to his level of intellect?
Okay, fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I took that too far.
So this guy named
Yeah.
Noah Hawley does all the Fargo seasons on Netflix. He also on FX. He also does Legion,
Right.
which is the show about Professor X's son in the X-Men universe, which is
Oh, wow.
amazing and nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
All of these things.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, see,
feel like-
it has like 4 seasons.
I feel like there's a reason that nobody knows about it.
Well, because FX is horrible at advertising, but
That's what they said about that Mars movie.
That Mars movie?
See?
Martian?
Here we go.
Can't even remember.
Mars Attacks.
No.
Red
John
Planet?
Carter.
Oh,
Oh no, John Carter was just
Yeah.
not a good movie.
But like there were like people like literally like there were like trailers of that coming out. This is how I decided that I didn't want to major in communications at Lamar.
Okay,
This is weird. Okay. I'm sorry.
take that, Lamar.
Yeah.
Pick him.
The communications department at Lamar, like I knew I wanted to make movies. I knew I wanted to go into film stuff. And I was thinking that I wanted to go to like film school in Los Angeles. But my parents were like, why don't you try like a semester at Lamar and do that? And so I started getting involved in the communications department at Lamar, making movies and stuff.
Yep.
And there was like this weird like clique of like these like really pretentious movie people. Like I can talk anyways.
I was about to say, isn't that just movie
Yeah, that's
people?
yeah.
Hi-oh!
Yeah. Zing. But so there was the one like ringleader guy who like you had to like be friends with like to get into the clique. It was the craziest thing. It was like this weird. Anyways,
How do we get on this? Let's remember what we were talking about
John
before.
Carter.
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
how
that's
do
not what we were talking about
we were talking
before,
about
but-
Legion.
We're talking about that people should watch
Yeah,
all these
Fargo.
FX shows like
Right,
Fargo.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
which I'm going
that's
to
enough.
eventually. But my point is, the guy was like singing the praises of this new John Carter movie. He's like, oh yeah, it's this homage to the old Mars Princess Attack, whatever movie that is from like the 1950s, and it's gonna be fantastic, and it's like revolutionary CGI, blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, that looks like it's gonna be trash. And he was like, no, well, okay, we'll see. And so like it came out and like it bombed, like it did awful. And I was like, hey,
Rightly so.
I saw that movie, lost like $400 million. And he was like, well, it just wasn't marketed correctly. And
So
every
you're
time
saying
I hear
that's
that
what's
argument,
happening
I
with-
hear that about that. I hear that really dumb, stupid guy.
Have you
in my
consumed the
brain.
media that we are discussing?
I haven't. Which
Okay.
I would do
So,
fully to do. I have
consume
watched. I
the
have watched like
media.
4 episodes of Fargo.
And then see if that's what's
I have
happening
watched like 4
here.
episodes of Fargo, and I gave up on it because I
No.
didn't like it.
Do you like the Coen brothers?
Yes, but not as much as you do.
Well,
See, like I
were
don't
wrong.
really like the Coen brothers. Like I
Brothers
like
are
some
great.
Coen brothers, but not all Coen brothers.
which ones don't you like?
I have a very serious question for you guys.
Okay.
All right. So y'all are busy guys. Y'all have a lot on your plate.
And your point
see where this is going.
Tanner,
How the heck
How
do you
do
have
you watch
time
all these
to watch all these movies and TV shows? Goodness
The
gracious.
answer is very simple, Tanner. I do not sleep.
I see.
Like
That's what I'm doing
really
wrong.
The answer.
That's what I'm doing
I
wrong.
Stay up watching stuff I don't have time for, and then I'm
Wow.
tired all the time.
So look, what time do you go to bed?
Usually like midnight, 12:30.
Okay.
something like that.
It's really funny because like
But
Logan and I, like I remember, I don't know, like a couple months ago going on a date, and like we went to dinner, and then we went to Rayo's, and we had, you know, some dessert. This was before the Tyler diet or whatever.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah,
You
but
can
then
get one dessert.
we were just like, man, we're exhausted. You know, it's Friday night. It's got to be super late. And I looked at my watch,
Like,
and it was like
let's go
7:30
home. It's
p.m.
like
I'm like, oh
7:30.
my gosh.
Now on Wednesdays I go to bed a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Because I've been doing it all day. I've just preached
Yeah.
a sermon.
Yeah.
But a
Wow.
little bit earlier, I mean like
11.
11:30. Like
Okay.
when I
And
go
you
home to
can't
sleep,
get home till 11:30.
Yeah, when I go home to sleep, like I have to watch something before I sleep.
Same.
or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Logan's same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch something while I'm going to sleep. I can't leave it on. I have to like
can.
if I'm
Oh.
getting too tired, I'll turn everything off and just go to sleep.
no, that's
Okay.
There's a time to go to sleep, and I can't have stuff on. It's got to
I
be
gotta
like pitch
no,
black.
I've got to put something on to go to sleep.
I like to fall asleep with something on.
Like,
and
I'll put an
Tanner does
audiobook
not.
on.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
a
like
big
complete
contention in our
darkness and
household.
silence.
Yes.
And Logan's like,
I have to have
have
a
the TV on.
fan, and
on.
I like the TV
Oh,
on.
so
and
Yeah.
Logan
Those are two
sleeps in
things
her
that
little
I can't have
capsule.
something blowing directly on me,
Yeah.
and I don't want the TV on.
marriage, it's worth it.
It's compromises.
He said it's worth it, but he's screaming with his
yeah,
eyes.
really help me.
He's blinking in Morse code.
I haven't slept in 5 years.
He's blinking torture.
I like how Logan says compromises, but she gets her way.
Well, yeah, I mean,
We compromise. in
We
that
compromise.
We have a fan on, and the TV is on. And Tanner gets to sleep in a bed.
Yeah,
They make, they make
we have a
I've-
guest room. It's fine.
I have been relegated to the guest room.
they make blindfolds and earplugs.
That's true.
You can't.
That's true.
You can't.
I should
Yeah,
invest
but
in
I
those.
would want to be able to.
I don't mind
Just-
it. Honestly, I've learned to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I
Adapted.
mean, I eventually turned the TV off.
yeah, because I usually fall
He's-
asleep before.
he's-
I'm like, I'm out.
Or he's like, "Will you please turn it off?" I'm like,
will.
"Okay, you begged me hard enough."
I will beg. I will be like,
Are you
please.
even watching this anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
actually
like
what he
wake her
says.
up because she'll put the remote on her side of on her nightstand, so I can't like reach over her and grab it and turn it off. I'll like wake her up like, turn it off, please, or I'll ask her, just play on your phone, watch something on your phone. But no,
Marriage is hard.
nah, it's
You know,
fine.
you know
We're doing great.
they have headphones that can hook up to the TV now.
That is true.
Oh yeah.
That is
That's
true.
old.
But we have really old TV.
Like they had those since like 2004.
Well, of course, but they obviously aren't using them. So
Obviously.
I'm saying now as if it's something
You said
new to
now. Yeah, you said now.
In our bedroom, we have
Like that's not 30-year-old technology.
we have a TV that's I don't know, it's pretty old. And
Yeah, I don't
like
think it
we're
would do
streaming
that.
it on a PS3.
It's like a,
so it's like I don't
It's
think
real
Bluetooth
jank.
works with it.
oh,
You know?
man. It's like an old
I
CRT.
could do that with my phone very easily.
It's like Parks and Rec where they just always use Alta Vista.
And the
I
tab
looked it up on
was-
Alta Vista. That's
Yeah.
like a running joke on Parks
Right,
and Rec.
right.
For those listening, Alta Vista was like a search engine before Google.
Yeah.
Right.
Was like the monopoly on search.
Yeah.
engine.
You remember Ask Jeeves?
I do
Yeah.
remember Ask Jeeves.
That's what I used.
Ask Jeeves.
I used to Ask
Growing up.
Jeeves.
Golly,
it was,
talk about a
there was a
throwback.
picture of a
I know.
butler, and
Yes.
and it was like a search engine, but you would ask Jeeves a question. Like
So-
it had to be like in the form of the question to get the best result.
I'm a little bit younger. So
Okay.
like when I was growing up, my dad would, type something in Ask Jeeves. I thought there was a guy on the other side
So did
who was
I.
responding to your question. I was like, how does this guy know everything?
It's just like going to this big stack of books. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. What is
Give me a
the state
minute.
animal of Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Jeeves is
Jeeves is the
giant library.
Which is it's hilarious how far we've come just in the past few decades.
That
Oh,
Because
still
man.
exists.
there's a movie. There's a Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn movie called Desk Set, and it's about this TV studio executive. When they're writing TV shows, they can't just look up, are we right about this thing that we're about? They can't just like Google it and say, oh, can I talk about however many soldiers were in this war? We don't know. So there was like a department. It was a real thing. I mean, it was a movie about the real phenomenon of there was like a research department. That if we're going to say something in a TV show, we call down to these group of ladies and they go to like the physical library we have on site and try to look up the information.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was a huge thing. Like newsrooms, had huge teams of researchers. Interestingly, I Googled it. Ask Jeeves is just ask.com now.
Oh.
Did you know Ask Jeeves turned into ask.com?
I did not know that.
It evolved.
Who'd you ask? So you just asked Google what happened to Ask Jeeves, and it took you to ask.com. There was also one called Dogpile. That when Dogpile came out, like my dad was always like on the cutting edge of what the new thing was like in the 90s.
Nice.
And so we were one of the first ones to get we had AOL Instant Messenger. I was on the wave too. Like we were talking, I was in 8th grade talking to girls on Instant Messenger. Like the big thing was, what's your screen name?
Yes.
I got to come up with a really cool away message. So when people send me something, the away, like the icon, your icon was really important too. Who you chose as that. For a while, mine was Christy Carlson Romano of Even Stevens.
Nice.
That was your icon?
That was I was in 8th grade. Give me a break.
Shouldn't your icon be like
No, all the guys had whatever
guy?
girl, whatever celebrity crush they had. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What an interesting.
It didn't say that for long. Once you got into wasn't my icon in high school.
Yeah.
My icon in high school was Strong Bad.
Obviously.
But anyway, like on the wave of that, he's like, Dogpile's it's going to be the one that, because it used all the other search engines to bring you their results, which probably was some type of copyright infringement.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
That's why Dogpile is probably not around now. But that's what it was. Like it uses all of these other search engines and brings you all of the results.
But he completely missed Google.
But Google was around at that point.
No, I'm saying he was predicting that Dogpile would be the next big thing, but that Google company that's doing
Google
nothing.
was already pretty big. Google became a thing pretty quickly.
It did, yeah.
But Dogpile was after Google became like the one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still very early. It's still late 90s.
Who are your what was it called? Your close friends on MySpace.
My top 5 on MySpace? I didn't. 5. So here's the deal.
Was it the guy? Was it the MySpace guy?
Tom was everybody's number one.
Tom was obviously number one.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I didn't get on the MySpace train because there was a thing before MySpace.
Zanga.
And it was called Zanga. And we've talked about it before. Because I tried to find my old Zanga.
Did you listen to music on your Zune?
I know, I cannot find mine. It makes me so sad.
Because they deleted it. Like, they're like, there's not enough room in the internet for, like, the pictures that you posted from 2003. I was like, why?
In your daily journals, everyone's daily.
I had some solid jokes on there. I can't remember any of them, but
wow.
That was
Did you have a Zanga?
I did not.
You were probably like 4 years old.
I didn't get Zanga. I didn't get MySpace.
So I skipped MySpace because MySpace was on its way out by the time I was done with Zanga. Facebook was the big thing.
Yeah.
And it took forever for me to get a Facebook because I was like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. But that was back when the only people on Facebook were college students. This was like social network type.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
This was like 2003 when this was happening. Huh. And we made a Facebook for one of our classes. You had to have a college email address to have a Facebook. Right. And so there was... It wasn't just the place where you got all your conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or argued with literally everybody.
Hesitation. It was
but then I said it.
So should I say this? Should I not? I'm going to say it.
It's fine. We're like an hour deep. Nobody's listening
They've
anymore.
listened this far. You get the good stuff.
They know we bury the nuggets at the end of the podcast. That was a good one.
That's what Facebook was, and I still didn't want to get on it. I was like, why do I need that? I have friends.
Oh, gosh. That's great.
Yeah. I subverted my parents' authority to get on Facebook.
Oh,
Was that when it was still a college thing, or when it was
No,
open to everybody? Because it wasn't that.
I was like in middle
It didn't
school.
take long.
I was like in middle
Yeah.
school, and I made a Facebook without my parents' permission.
Wait.
Nice.
It's in
And
the
then they were
terms and
like-
conditions, Blake.
And they were like,
You are
"Play."
admitting we need to cut this out because
Yeah.
you're admitting.
Yeah.
And
You broke the law.
Yeah.
You're gonna
they
get
were
it
like,
later.
They were like, blame me. You know, I can't
You-
believe you did
wait,
that. And then
wait.
they just let me keep it.
Did you click accept without reading it?
Oh, no, yeah, I definitely didn't.
No
read that.
one does that.
I know.
Everyone reads those, you
No
know.
one does that.
I guess I'm the one weird person.
So I just did 23andMe,
Ooh.
the DNA kit.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I wanna do that.
I
been
started
to
trying
two?
to read the forms, and I was like, "This is too long." And I was just like, "Do whatever you want with my DNA. I don't care."
Yeah, that is a pretty sketchy thing
But-
now.
It got
Everybody
really
has-
weird because like
You're
one
in
of the
some kind of database.
Access to
Yeah.
one of the forms I had to
Probably.
accept was like, "Hey, can we keep your DNA on file?" I was like, "What? Like, where did I
Why
say
would
yes
you
to
need
this?"
to?
So let's do something you're not supposed to do in 2020 and guess all of the racial features of Tanner just by looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they really?
So,
He hasn't gotten
I
them
haven't
back
received
yet.
it back
Oh, you haven't
yet.
received it?
Yeah, I just did the spit
I
part.
just
But we
gave
should
him my
start taking
information.
bets.
Oh,
Everybody
So-
write down what percentages you think he is.
So
I mean,
my
he's going to be heavily European, obviously.
I mean, you can look at me and see that. Yeah.
oh man.
So yeah, it's really fascinating because my dad, I don't know anything about really his
Yeah.
side of the family. He was an orphan, and then my mom, I don't really know much about her biological father and that side of the family.
Okay.
So I'm about to find out a lot of
Like,
stuff.
a blank slate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like, we got the medical history one also. So it's like, I don't
That's
know.
super cool.
A little nervous about that. It's like, well, let's see what's gonna kill me.
All the diseases that you're genetically
Right.
I got it for Christmas. It's like, Merry Christmas. Learn how you're gonna
How you
die.
die.
You're some
Now you can be like
anxiety.
one of those.
They're gonna give you the date that you're going to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's how
Well,
it
now
works.
you can be like one of those like tragic Greek heroes. Like, this is not the day I die.
Yeah.
Because I know how I will die.
Right.
Liver cancer.
It's coming from me.
Now, I've been wanting to do one of those, but I've been torn between 23andMe and Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the difference is.
There's not much.
I've done Ancestry.com not without sending my DNA info. I've
Yeah.
done the Ancestry. We did the
Well,
whole.
that's the
we
boring way
did
to do it.
No,
Kevin.
that's like the
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's like the detective way to do it. Like you go.
Ew.
It's awesome.
Work.
Work.
We went.
Was this in between being a pastor and watching TV? Like, where did you fit that in?
Well, this was before. This was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I was still working at a church at the time. But it wasn't really me that started it. It was Markley that started it.
Okay.
But I got super into it, and we went as a family. Like, as we tracked down our heritage, and found out that we had the high percentage of Osage Native American.
Oh, wow.
Like my grandpa, if you look at him in a certain light, he looks
Certain
Certain
light.
he looks Native
when it's
American.
kind of dim
When the sun
outside.
strikes him at just the
Yeah,
right
if
angle.
you give him like, never mind.
Oh my.
Please do not continue that sentence. We're gonna get shut down.
Never mind.
Oh my.
We have just been
Anyway,
canceled.
my great grandfather
Yeah.
was straight up Native American, looked Native American.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And my grandpa has some of his features.
Gotcha.
So much so, not just his features, but like we could prove that we had enough. He had enough Osage blood that they let him sign the Constitution in
Oh.
Pawhuska, Oklahoma, on the Osage reservation.
Wow.
My grandpa has signed the Osage Constitution.
Wow.
That is
Cool.
crazy.
Yeah. So, we went on this big deep dive. They let us go to the library and look up stuff. We were trying to figure out like where she went. Like, we know a great great grandmother was full blooded Osage and was at one point on this reservation and left at some point. Left and married a Union soldier in the Civil War,
Wow.
and from Ohio, and they moved to Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah. So see,
That's fascinating.
yeah.
So you're making me want to do it.
I know.
So, like,
You should
and we
do
went
it.
to like all the public libraries, and then we went to this library that
Oh, that
has
sounds
they have
like so much
geneticists
work.
there that will help you. Like, look for your family. Like they were there all day. It's their job, and they did it for free. It's a public
Wow.
library.
I mean, like, how does that work? Like, do they just you go in and be like, hey, I think this
You-
person
my name is
related
Goodwin.
to me, or-
You start with names.
Tell me who I'm
Okay. You
related
You start,
to.
yeah. You start with the names that you have. We had names. We had names back like maybe 7 or 8 generations, which is a
Okay.
lot.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of information to work with. But after that, it gets like murky, especially when you're talking about Native Americans, because they used to lie on forms because they couldn't actually own land. That's why
Yeah.
when I read that book, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's about like the Osage Nation got moved to Oklahoma from where their actual ancestral lands were, and because it was this worthless piece of land, and the Osage chief declared, okay, now perhaps the white people will leave us alone because they put us on this rocky, flat surface, and no one cares about this land. And then they struck oil.
Oh my gosh!
And so there was no way that the government could get out of saying that this belonged to the Native Americans.
Oh, wow.
They became per capita the richest
Wow.
people in the country. But then what the government started doing is because, well, they really can't handle their wealth. Let's put overseers over their wealth that will be in charge of their money for them so that, they don't spend it recklessly.
Of course.
And of course,
It was spent recklessly.
they started killing them because...
Goodness gracious!
straight up killing them
yeah,
because
it's awful.
the Osage Constitution part of it was like your head rights, your what you own gets passed to somebody else. And so if you became one of these overseers and you amassed a certain amount of head rights, you just get exponentially richer.
Wow.
And so they started poisoning them and blowing them up and just straight up
my
shooting them.
gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's what that book is about.
Wow.
It's one of the best books one of the best books, period, but certainly the best historical nonfiction because the guy does so much research. It's amazing.
Did you
Killers of the Flower Moon? Read it.
Did you know
They're
that
making
you
a movie
had-
about it? Martin Scorsese is making a movie about it with
Oh my
Leonardo
gosh.
DiCaprio. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, all right,
Cool.
Did you know that you had a genealogical stake in the narrative when you read it?
Yes.
See, that makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah, but it's still interesting anyway because it's intertwined with the forming of the FBI. The FBI didn't really exist yet, so it's the
wow.
Bureau of Indian Affairs that starts
Becomes the
investigating
FBI?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, people from the Bureau of
Gotcha,
Indian
gotcha,
Affairs
gotcha.
become FBI agents.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's like the beginnings of the FBI are intertwined with it. And this really cool agent that ended up being a warden at other prisons. Like he goes into his backstory, and it's like three different stories at once. It's the story of this one family that's really been affected by this, the story of the whole area, and then the story of this detective that figures how everything has been happening, and he doesn't spoil it. The way he tells it, he could just tell you, here's what happened at the beginning,
Right.
but he lets you, it's like he's telling the story like it's a movie. And so I
like
think
he's a good storyteller.
he's a good storyteller. David Grant, he's the same guy who wrote Lost City of Z, who's based on
Oh, interesting.
based on one of the, and they've already made a movie out of it.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
based on one of the people that Indiana Jones is based off of.
Yeah.
This Amazonian explorer.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's a really good writer. I recommend it.
That
Yeah.
sounds fascinating. What was it again?
Killers of the Flower Moon. The name comes from the fact that there are these flowers in Oklahoma that come out when
moon shines.
the first full moon and the moon shines.
That's
And
cool.
so these bigger flowers soak up all the sunlight, and the smaller flowers under them die, and their petals fall on the ground. And so it's like confetti on the ground. And so
Wow.
the Native Americans, Osage, would call that moon the Killer of the Flowers moon.
Oh,
And so it's this metaphor for these overseers that are supposed to be helping out all the little
wow.
people around them, but they're actually killing them.
Sounds like a great book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super interested now.
I'll definitely watch that movie.
The book will be better than the movie.
And we come full circle.
We have. Speaking of which, it is.
How long
late.
have we gone? Like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half at least.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's been a while here. Every time Tanner or Logan are on, we go for way
We're
too
just-
long.
We didn't even start. We're
Couple
just
of
like
regular-
talking. This is
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really start it whenever. There's like a 15-minute window there that you can be like,
That's
we'll
true.
start here.
Stuff at the end's probably more interesting than the beginning.
No, we're just
Hey,
gonna put a
that Full
disclaimer.
House
Skip
commentary
halfway
was
to the
Yeah,
Gold.
we talked about Full House
on
for
point.
a
Oh,
long
Probably
time.
about an hour.
Oh man,
Worth
yeah, if you are still listening, thank you so much for listening to so much of this podcast.
It's just
And since you've listened to so much of it, you might as well subscribe and listen to the next one. So
Yeah, there you go.
what were the games that we were going to do on the last one that we never did? We just
oh yeah, I have several games. We ended up playing some of them on the Twitch stream, which was fun. Like to play like with the delay. Do you want to play one real quick?
you
Uh-oh.
have time.
I mean,
I have to pick up groceries
supposed to
by
be-
7.
Uh-oh.
so I have
You sure you
a.
don't?
sounds like a no.
Right now it's 6:53. So
Yeah.
we'll be done.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Can we play it on Friday? Because I'm gonna be
Sure.
here.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be.
We're,
at the Twitch
we're doing the
stream.
Twitch.
You keep saying
That's
it's
right.
Tanner, but I'm gonna be here too.
Y'all doing
Are
it
you gonna
together?
let me sit there?
Are y'all
Ryan?
really gonna do it together? Because
I don't know.
We're gonna
I
do
will-
something.
What are y'all
do it
playing?
together.
What game are you gonna play?
I don't know.
No clue.
I was thinking
Yeah,
Halo 3.
yeah,
Start Halo
that would
3?
that would be great.
Just roll right
And
in.
Halo 3 co-op.
I'll just sit there and talk to the
Oh.
chat room.
Logan could play
Yes, I like it.
Sounds like
That's
we've
what we're gonna
decided.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
because you're gonna be
If
there.
you can do split screen, that was the most annoying thing. So we had this whole big thing that we figured out that we were gonna do with Tyler and Sam, and it ended up not working. We made it work like that week, and it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't work on the day. I was super upset about it.
Exactly.
And so
you act like someone's arguing
our
with you.
fallback, yeah, our fallback was well,
It's just
we'll just have
that's how this normally goes, right?
our fallback was we'll just have them play split screen. Because I had researched it. I was like, can you play split screen on Halo 2? And they were like, yes, you can. I was like, whew, thank goodness. They use Google. And
Ask Jeeves.
yeah. And
Hashtag
so we get there and
Dog
like we
pile.
start looking at it. We start looking at it and it's like, yeah, you can't do split screen. And we're like, what? So I searched it again. Sure enough, you can't play split screen on the PC version. So like we ended up that first night, like Tyler's screen is what we're seeing, but like Sam is playing off to the side. It was weird. So I would love for y'all to play co-op. I don't know for sure that Halo 3 can play co-op, but a split screen. But we should definitely try to do it because I think that would be super funny.
Yeah.
Or at least for
Even
as
if
long
I
as,
play for
as
like
li- as long
a
as
little
Logan
while,
wants to hang out.
Yeah.
You know,
I might lose interest, but I will.
She'll be there for
yeah. Tanner
I
can
like
play the
to
game
troll
and
the
Logan
chat
can keep
room,
the chat
so-
busy.
You should
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You should do a split screen of Tanner playing Halo 3 and Logan watching.
know what we
some
should do?
DIY.
Would be super fun.
Dream home
TV show.
makeover.
Dream
Yeah.
home makeover.
What we
Or
should
Fuller
do.
House and make fun of it.
What we should do is play heads up on stream.
Okay.
Okay.
Like on the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
thing. That would be
Oh, yeah.
that would be fun to play like through a camera.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I think that'd
Okay.
be funny.
Little breaks.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's what we did. It wasn't heads up, but it was a game like heads up where like you couldn't say the word, and that's what we played on the
Yeah.
Twitch stream
Yeah.
last time. It was fun.
We have to let Logan get her groceries.
Yes, please. We're done. Thank you so much for listening.
Watch the Twitch.
Watch the Twitch stream this Friday because Tanner and now Logan are both
you.
definitely going to
Or
be on it.
always Logan was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be
Yeah.
there.
She was
Yeah.
planning on being there.
I didn't realize it, but now I'm realizing and I'm super excited about it. So make sure to watch the Twitch stream this Friday. But who am I kidding? Nobody's listening anymore. So goodbye, nobody, and we will see you.
Bye.
And we'll see you next week.
They might still be on there.
Who's on next week? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
What's the date?
I would plug it, but
What?
February something.
I hate
February.
Why is February spelled so stupidly?
For brewery.
We can't talk about this.
Okay.
Okay.
We can talk about it next time
Yeah. We'll talk about it next time.
on Everything Under the Sun.
Excellent.
Wow, you
Excellent.
sounded like a
You closed it off so well.
with
And
that
you
voice.
keep talking.